What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Outside Line Media Podcast. We had a great weekend of racing last weekend. We're here to talk about it. It's your boys. I'm Patrick.
I'm Ryan, and let's get straight into what was a great weekend. I mean, a full weekend of racing, minus IMSA, of course, but
RIP IMSA.
still getting three main series at once is always going to be great.
Was a little sad no Indy next at Thermal. Love me some Indy next.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, let's talk about IndyCar.
IndyCar, yeah. IndyCar, it was a lot of talk about it right now, and not for the right reasons at all. To get the elephant out of the room for anyone who watched it, internationally, you just got straight static at lap 28, something like that.
Yeah, it was like 15 laps of nothing. If you're in the US, you got some NASCAR for 15 laps.
Yeah, and then you got an absolute gem. So the broadcast cut, their production truck lost power, which, how does that happen? Is there not backups? Do they not?
California heat. Fox not taking that into account.
It being Thermal Club.
They're used to, going to tracks that actually have like support systems and stuff.
Yeah, it just doesn't have it. But so cut out completely, lost broadcast. If you're watching on Fox, you got sent to NASCAR after a brief freeze and then a commercial. We then came back for a second, saw two turns, no audio, and then it cut to commercial. And then finally, after a little bit more NASCAR, we were fully back. And did you see what good old Hinchcliffe was doing when they came back, Patrick? Did you hear that?
I did not.
He was doing a Christopher Walken impression. It was they clearly didn't know they were back, or it was a Christopher Walken impression. I don't know. It was an impression. Some form of impression. It was very funny, but that was a very bad look on Fox, and I guess it's kind of reverse of our predictions, but I figured we'd get this out of the way first.
It was, well, there was a graphical glitch. I don't know if you saw it at the very beginning of the race. P13 and P14 were completely overlapped.
That was a frequent issue, actually. That I caught that multiple times during the race. We said, well, Fox fixed the broadcast. They definitely did. We both got that wrong.
They did better, except for laps like 28 to 40.
Yeah, still fundamental issues I have with no good push-to-pass or hybrid graphic.
I mean, let's talk about the Halo graphics. Like, they added push to pass on there. Cool, that's great. They didn't really use Halo graphics for the battles where you're really caring about how push to pass is being deployed and how hybrid is being deployed in Regen. And I mean, come on, like the teams. So I found this out. The teams actually pay for those cameras. The teams that have, it's not like Formula One where every single car has a Halo camera. IndyCar is you pay for the camera and you're able to then make back that investment by then selling ad spots on it. Are we going to talk about what that means? Yep.
Which are now being covered, which means there's no incentive to buy a Halo cam for teams that don't, or in the future, to have it.
I think in the future, Fox can, they can be like, I think the way to fix it is have Fox pay for Halo cams for every single car.
Yep.
And then give us an F1 TV style streaming app, please. I know people have opinions about streaming apps. I'd love to have the option between Fox or an IndyCar streaming app.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, if it wasn't Fox, we would have been static because that's what the international broadcast had.
That's true. I mean, it was literally everything at the track that went down.
Yeah, but it'd be nice. The IndyCar app's nice. I mean, you can watch any of those onboards. Even those were lost, obviously. But there was still, fun fact, during that weird portion, I don't know if you went on the IndyCar app, there was still telemetry.
Okay, yeah, I checked. I was on the website for a little bit watching the timing, but it was a little bit weird.
It was a little goofy, but there was still tracking and timing.
And I wasn't sure if that's just because it was in the middle of a pit sequence that it went black too, because I was showing like a lot of cars a lap down, which might have just been from pit sequences.
I think it was a pit sequence during that, a lot of it, because that's what I was trying to figure out was like what was going on. But it was a little glitchy, but it still worked. But yeah, 100% lost everything. So I just figured we talk about that first. Fox, get your freaking shit together, please.
Yeah.
That's all we ask. Like, just they got rid of the cartoons. 1 point for me.
Thank
I'm
God you
happy.
don't have to look at Scotty Max staring into your soul.
But then they just don't let us watch the race for half of it. So it's a
It's a
double-edged
give and
sword.
take. It's like your classic abusive relationship.
Your favorite. It's a
Jesus.
it's a horrible look on Fox. It's a horrible look on IndyCar. It doesn't do any justice or favors to Thermal Club in relation to where it stands on. I don't like Thermal Club. We know this.
Let's talk about Thermal Club.
This weekend didn't help that at all.
I don't like the idea of Thermal Club. I don't like that it's basically a private event that it's very exclusive to get into. However, I will say that I think it's getting undue hate this week because the racing was great.
Not bad. Was not bad.
That was, I mean, look, all I have to say for proof that it is a good track that battles can happen, the Lundgaard Pillow battle.
Yeah, that was a great.
Barely any other track on the calendar. Maybe Indy Road Course could support a battle like that, but it wouldn't have been as interesting because Indy Road Course is Indy Road Course.
Yeah.
Road America, maybe. There aren't a lot of tracks that you can have that kind of long, extended battle.
Yeah, that went on for that long before someone got fully clear and by. But yeah, I mean, that was. So I guess let's talk about obviously the results. Alex Palou with a tire save master strategy class. I mean,
he had a sticker set of softs at the end of the race.
Yeah,
that's what it came down to.
And he drove a freaking round both those McLarens. I mean, my lordy. Now, Lundgaard put up a good battle. He did really help his teammate out.
Yeah.
Tried to give him a gap, but it wasn't enough. I mean, I think
same can't be said for Nolan Siegel.
Yeah, Nolan Siegel just ushered him through. Nolan Siegel, not great.
He never even got past him. He never got past Nolan Siegel. The whole thing was McLaren should have had, and I heard the radio message.
Slow down.
It was the 10 is behind you and the 5 is behind him. It's a Fernando is faster than you kind of radio message of hold Palou up, screw your battle for 18th with Malukas.
Yeah.
Help your teammate get a win.
And instead he just, So Nolan, we'll get to that in a little bit, but not a great weekend from him. Not a great year for him so far. But Palou drove around Lundgaard and Pato Award to get the win by 10 seconds. That's what makes me. I don't know if you can slow up. I don't know if.
But he would have had to pass him and Malukas in theory.
Yeah, I just don't know.
They were both hurrying because Pato wasn't catching him at all.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so what if you get lapped? At least give it a shot for your teammate. Like, that's kind of
it would have been good to see him get an effort. I don't think it would have changed results, but it would have been a good thing on his part to at least take something away from the weekend if he would have held him up a bit.
Yeah, he'll get his elbows all the way out for Will Power passing him for a position that was always going to be Will Power's, but not for a lapped car to help his teammate get a win.
Yep.
Like, that's kind of what I saw how good of a battle and how far he can get his elbows out. And I just didn't see that at the end of the race.
Yeah.
But, dominant drive from Palou. It has to be said. Not as much as his St. Pete kind of sneak victory. It was kind of being talked about the entire race, how he was going to be coming through the field and making an effort on those cars. And we kind of saw those positions changing places all throughout the race. But just an amazing drive from Palou. Palou's going to be Palou. RIP, the whole IndyCar is a super competitive championship that goes all the way until the last race narrative while we're getting all these new fans in. And we have Palou getting the first back-to-back victories in 5 years for the first 2 races. Yeah, Palou is in peak form. And Patrick, I know you had some thoughts you were bringing up earlier about
Palou and the gap to certain other people in the grid. Would you like to elaborate on that? What we were talking about earlier?
Yeah. So Scott Dixon, I'm not sure if he had an issue in quali or not, or if he had an issue during the race. Nothing that I heard about. We were hearing a lot about hybrid issues, but that was all on Chevy cars, not Honda cars.
Yeah.
Um, and then Kiffin Simpson, why he's in a CGR, it's money. But why he's in a CGR, I don't understand. I mean, they kicked Linus Lundqvist out of that car for Kiffin Simpson. What are we doing,
Great.
Chip? Come on, man. Like,
yeah, that's kind of crazy.
The closest Chip Ganassi racing cars to Alex Palou in that race were the Meyer Shank 60 and 66 of Felix Rosenquist and Marcus Armstrong. Not even Chip Ganassi cars, just a Technical Alliance car.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
It not a good look on CGR. I mean, CGR can't be upset. Alex Palou is dominating, but
yeah,
they still want results from their team. I mean, Aaron McLaren's got to feel happy about a 2-3. Damn near 1-2.
Double podium.
Yeah, really. Huh. We already obviously got in on Nolan a little bit. His woes. Hopefully he can pick it up. But
look, I'm just gonna say if he doesn't pick it up, with what we saw with the driver market at McLaren last year, I would be very disappointed in McLaren if they kept him on. If we're seeing this result for the rest of the season, I don't see him being in a McLaren next year.
No, absolutely not. Kind of make or break for him at this point this year.
I think, he'll still be in the sport. I think he'll get like a coin drive or a JHR ride. But I can't see him staying with the team if these are the results we're going to come to expect of him. I mean, your teammates are up in P2 and 3. They're both fighting for the win. And you're battling an AJ Foyt car for 18th. An AJ Foyt car not having a good weekend.
Yeah.
And you didn't get past him.
Yeah, that year you didn't get past him and you didn't help your teammate. Double sin. But yeah, overall, I know we did. Well, how'd your predictions do? How many?
Yeah, so top 3, I had Christian Lundgaard in first, Marcus Armstrong in second, and Pato Award in third. So I had 2 in the top 3 that were correct. And all 3 of my top 3s did amazing that race. I forget where Marcus finished, but it was top 10.
7th. He finished 7th.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, amazing race from all 3 of them. So I got myself a nice cushy 2 points from that one. How about you, Ryan?
I had my top 3 as Scott McLaughlin. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. I think we'll save that for the end. We'll go through our predictions. A lot of recapping today, so I can't get too strung out over. But
that's why you got to drive through.
Scott McLaughlin. That's why I got to drive through. Scott McLaughlin first, Pato Award second, which I was dead on, and Alex Palou third, who was correct. So I got a neat 2.5 out of that one.
Yeah. Who was your hit the apex?
Mine was Connor Daly, and unfortunately, he did not hit the apex this weekend.
Yeah, I think he's basically a free space for all the ovals, but on a road course, it's very hot or cold for him sometimes.
Yeah, I had a good feeling. No evidence to back it. I just
good vibes.
Was hoping, but
I mean, Connor Daly always brings good vibes, man.
16th still isn't. What are you gonna do? Especially when his great old his teammate is where he usually is.
Stingray. Yeah, I think I'm excited for once we get into the ovals of the season, which I guess the first one's Indy, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Long Beach.
We got Long Beach.
Barber. Indy Road. Indy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see what he brings to Indy then. I mean, Connor Daly's always been able to drag a good car into the 500. And I mean, he always does amazing on ovals. So I'm really excited to see what he can do this year. My Hit the Apex went almost as well as Ryan's. Or no, you're still, yeah, your Hit the Apex was Connor Daly. Mine went way worse than Ryan's. I had Louis Foster, which is looking amazing after qualifying. Amazing quality from Louis Foster. Unfortunately, he dropped like a rock straight to the back of the pack. The RLL cars just really weren't anywhere this weekend. Unfortunately, I don't know if they did the thermal test or not.
I don't remember.
But just unfortunate from the RLL cars. Not a great weekend from them. And not a great weekend for that prediction. I think he finished like 21st or 22nd.
Louis?
Yeah.
24th.
24th. Is that behind Speedway or in front of Speedway at least?
Behind Speedway.
Oh, God.
Yep, behind
That's rough. Okay.
Hey, but ahead of Scott McLaughlin, so...
That's why you got to drive through. In front of the Devmeister, too, I'm guessing, then.
No. Devlin was in 20th.
Damn, the Devmeister was in 20th?
Devlin got away with that shit. Because that's a good result for him, for that bum.
Especially having a drive through with no cautions to help back it.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Who's your Miss the Apex, Ryan?
Felix Rosenquist, and he actually had himself a good race. Nice little top 5. The Meyer Shank in general, like you were talking about, they looked good this weekend. Yeah. So that was a big old swing and a miss.
I think I hit a nice dinger out to center field. I had Nolan Siegel as my Miss the Apex.
You sure
I've
did.
ragged on him enough this podcast. I'm not gonna say anything more. Like I said, I love the guy. He's a super nice guy, but come on, man, get your shit together.
Yeah. What the fuel save? It was not a fuel save, and I think we both thought it would be, correct?
We both thought it would be a fuel save. We did not account for the tire save that the California heat would cause.
Yeah, how could we forget California heat?
Or the hybrid save. Rossi went through 2 hybrids this weekend. Ferrucci had a hybrid issue. McLaughlin had a hybrid issue. Foster had a hybrid issue on the grid.
I think so.
I can't remember if it was just a stall out or a hybrid issue. It was one of the 2.
I can't remember, but yeah.
But he had an issue getting to the grid. Tire save race, which is way more interesting than a fuel save race.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good race. Like I said, I rate that race like a solid 6 or 6.5 out of 10, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, no blunder. If Fox wouldn't have lost coverage, it would have been a really good overall race.
Especially because we lost it during the pit sequence. If we had lost it during just standard front to nose to tail green flag running, so what? But we lost it right when stuff was getting interesting with one of the stops. So
yeah, and I actually believe it was right around when Scott McLaughlin had his issues.
Yeah, I think he just cut back in and they were trying to cool the hybrid in the pits.
Yeah, I was like, what? So yeah, it was just not great overall for Scott McLaughlin. But let me get it out real quick. Scott McLaughlin and Devlin DeFrancisco, that little piece of fucking shit. Okay? Also, how can you take a man seriously when you're looking down on him? That, you know what I mean? Like, come on now, Devlin. What are we doing?
And when his entire team is trying to pull him back under the tent.
Because they know he's wrong. The fact that he thought he could defend his actions is just insane to me. Like, that was the most boneheaded move ever. And Scott McLaughlin told him. And that video was pure gold. And I'd like to say, good on IndyCar for broadcasting that on their social medias.
That was IndyCar on Fox.
Yeah.
NBC never would have broadcast that completely uncensored.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Fox, for giving us uncensored social media posts.
They did one good thing. They had to make up for it this weekend. They had to make up for it.
That might have made up for it.
It might have. But yeah, that was absolute comedy. If you haven't seen the video, check it out for sure. It's super funny. We're back. We love that. We love beefs. I don't like Devlin. Period. To be honest, I got.
Look, I mean, I know, like,
I I got issues with him as a person. Like, I
I'm
just
not
don't
an
like the
RLL
man.
fan in general. Just because I think they've been at the back way too long. And I mean, I hate that as somebody from the Cincinnati area. I mean, Graham Rahal's from Columbus. Like,
Yeah.
I feel I'm in the enemy's territory when we go to the Mid Ohio races.
Oh yeah. Mid
I
Ohio
walked
Graham
in. I
Rahal
walked
only.
in last year. I think I was legitimately talking shit about Graham Rahal as we're walking down the Broadway, and we just see Graham Rahal flags lining the RVs parked there. Yeah,
Enemy
shut up real
territory.
quick. I shut up real
Yeah.
quick.
Yep. Yeah. So overall, decent race. Fox messed it up. Classic. Some good drama. Great battles. Alex Blow masterclass. I mean, can't be upset about that.
Yeah.
Next race is Long Beach.
Next race is Long Beach in 3
What do we
weeks.
have? Yes. Yep. So classic IndyCar scheduling problems.
Let's get some more
We won't.
races in here, IndyCar.
Yeah, for real. But moving on, we had NASCAR at Miami Homestead.
Banger race. Banger weekend. I'm
Kyle
not just saying
Larson.
that as a Larson fan.
Yeah, Kyle Larson almost completed the sweep. It would have been the third time someone has done it.
Yep,
The other
and
two
the second
times
driver.
second driver, the other two times being Kyle Busch. We know that. I mean, Kyle Busch is notorious for that. I mean, that's his thing. He loves going down the series.
Yep.
But he almost did it. He won the truck race in very similar fashion to how he won the NASCAR race, actually.
But I mean, the truck race was a lot more dominant from him. It was kind of like a normal Kyle Larson performance.
I mean, yeah, but he still had to chase him down, you know, and
Yeah.
he wouldn't have. I wouldn't say it was dominant. He wouldn't have won if Corey Haim's truck didn't have issues.
That's true.
He still had to run him down near the end, and it was still. I think I only got the pass done until like 7 laps to go. 7 laps to
Yeah,
go.
he led a lot
And
more laps in that race, though.
yeah, but I mean, he never would have done it if Corey Haim's truck was having issues.
Yeah.
Kept having to recycle, turn on
Fueling
and back off.
issues, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows what the issues were, but I mean, because Corey Haim had the fastest truck on the racetrack.
Yeah.
Far and beyond. It was a great truck and just didn't get it done. But Kyle Larson wins that race, and then the Xfinity race, he comes just so close. But some restart shenanigans
Yep.
causes Justin Allgaier to win, which I'm not upset about. I like
Yeah,
Justin
I'll take a
Allgaier
JR
win.
Motorsports Justin Allgaier win.
We'll take it.
That
but,
was my second choice. Seeing him and Larson battling at the beginning of that race was just amazing battles.
Yeah.
Just two amazing drivers fighting it out. Did you hear the news that Traveler Whiskey wants to continue sponsoring in NASCAR? Which could lead, if somebody's looking to ditch a charter, JR Motorsports to participate in Cup.
Would love that.
I heard rumblings that Traveler Whiskey wants to continue as a sponsor. Does that mean that they're going to sponsor Xfinity? I doubt it, considering they sponsored a Daytona 500 entry.
Yeah.
I would love to see JR Motorsports run a Cup schedule, though.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
With Allgaier as their driver, of course.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome. I'd love to see that. I don't think there's anyone that could be upset about that.
Yeah. If you'd be upset about that,
happen.
you're not human.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, good race weekend. That's something to keep your eye on if that happens. JR Motorsport. Let's get right in top 3. I had my top 3 as Seabell, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch.
Seabell had issues. Yeah.
Yeah, Seabell spun. And just never was seen again.
Yep.
So Seabell. Kyle Larson won the race, so I did get that correct. They would be in the top 3, and Kyle Busch, obviously. No on him. He
that
finished
RCR dude is just
21.
Not a good car.
Yeah, no.
I saw a lot of people hoping that announcement today was going to be him parting ways with RCR, but
It is not.
Yeah,
it was him and his son doing a race, which is cool.
Sick, yeah. Just he needs to get out of an RCR.
Yeah, no, for real.
Let me think who's in a decent car that doesn't deserve it. You know, we could get Joey Logano out of a Penske, Austin Cindric out of Penske. There's a lot of people that we could ditch out of good cars and get KB in there.
Yeah.
My top 3, I had Kyle Larson winning the race. Nice 1.5 right there. Seabell in P2 didn't happen. And
No.
William Byron in P3. It was just kind of an anonymous race from him this weekend.
Yeah.
Not much to really be said. He didn't do bad. He didn't do good. We had
Just
this argument
average.
before the podcast.
Yes, we did. I guess we'll about transition. Your hit the apex was
William Byron.
William Byron. He was my miss the apex. Neither of us got it.
Yeah.
Neither of us got it. P12. He just kind of had an race.
He was there.
Right around,
he participated. He was on the lead lap.
Yeah, so yeah, that didn't hit. My hit the apex was Josh Berry. I really was thinking that the Wood brothers and Josh Berry would carry some momentum. He has 17th place finish, which all things considered, not bad for that car. But
yeah, what is that? Was that a lap down or is he on lead lap?
I don't have the good results pulled up.
I can't remember how that went. Yeah, because I think Byron might have been close to getting lapped, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But let's move on to miss the apex. I had SVG missing the apex, which, that hit. I think it was P32 at the end of it, maybe. Smack down bottom of the order.
Not great from him.
Yeah, it's just been rough on the ovals from him, man. It's taking him longer than I thought to learn the ovals. And to run well in them, and it's just a shame, man. Can't say anything else.
Yeah, no, I agree. We went through mine, William Byron already. I'm just gonna keep smacking that button until it hits eventually, I guess, because it hasn't yet. It's bit me in the ass every time. But yeah, did either of us get cautions from tires? I did not. I
said 4.
I said 3, and it was not. There might have been 1. I don't think there was any.
I think I saw a tire go down, but I don't think it caused. I don't think it caused anything.
Seabell spun, and that caused his tire to go down, but he didn't spin because his tire went down.
Yeah, he got loose.
Yeah, he just lost it. So yeah, neither of us got it right. Well, I got 1 point, I believe. How many did you get?
From that one, 2.5 points from that one.
2.5 points. So yeah, not a little quiet week in NASCAR. Great race though. Kyle Larson in the end, just driving around with the help of Bowman escorting himself into the wall.
Yeah, that definitely helped him. NASCAR overall was really good. Really good racing this weekend from NASCAR. And with Sam joining in, you know what that means. We're going to be moving on to our Formula One side. Sam got to watch one race, the F1 sprint race. You didn't miss anything, missing out on the Grand Prix. Let's just go through thoughts on the sprint race this weekend.
I have one thought about the race. Thank God I dodged that bullet.
Yeah, it was
I would not want to. Yeah, I'm glad I caught the sprint race at least because the last half was. It was about the last half that was the exciting part, if I'm remembering correctly.
I mean, no battle for the lead, but
no. But I would like to start by formally apologizing to all the Ferrari fans and the Hamilton fans. I didn't know your game. So that prediction did not age very well, I gotta say, because Hamilton looked pretty damn good. And he's already telling the wall to shut up. That's a good start for him, too. And we got one of the most iconic Leclerc quotes yet.
I think it's the water.
I think it's the water. Must be the water.
Must be the water.
I think the sprint race was actually pretty good. I was excited to see some variety already. It feels like we're looking at actually seeing racing this year. Seeing the results, we've had Ferrari looking good.
I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, let me put it this way: like we've had Mercedes, I will say Mercedes is looking pretty good. Kimi or little Antonelli there, he's actually like
double podiums from Russell, right? Didn't he get a podium in Australia?
think he did, yeah.
Or P4. No, because Kimmy was P4. Russell got a P3, and then he got another P3 this week.
So all I'm going to say is it's looking like competition. Red Bull has got Max, so they're always doing good.
Yeah.
We'll get to Lawson.
I
can't say Red Bull's doing good.
Well, yeah.
Max is dragging a bad car up where it shouldn't be.
I don't know if it's just a bad car. I think you put Liam Lawson in the second seat. Yeah. We're wondering what happens when you put Liam
cover
Lawson in F1 car.
We'll cover Lawson here in a second. So of the four rookies, Antonelli is actually showing decent promise. This in 2 races, it's not been like especially for really having very little F1 experience. He showed up, and in 2 races, and of course it's still early season, but I mean, for early season, he's looking damn good compared to, I can't even remember their other names because the most exciting things we've seen from them is crashing on a formation lap. Which is
don't slander Ollie like that. Ollie was in the points this week.
He was in the points this week, but I still got to make
Ferrari. Haas Masterclass, Ferrari Disaster Class.
Haas did not have double points if it wasn't for the Ferrari Disaster Class.
Helping out their feeder team, how nice.
Yep, helping out their customer.
Makes everybody look good. It's a good PR stunt there. Yeah. But I gotta say, like, Antonelli is going to be a fun one to watch if he can keep up the performance. Lawson is going to be exciting to watch for all the opposite reasons.
I don't think we'll see him race again.
He's probably looking at race 4 tops at this point. I think he's the lost cause.
I don't think they're getting Colapinto in the. So let's talk about that.
There's talks already of him being replaced in China.
You mean
Japan? Japan.
Yeah.
They should have replaced him in China. But
yeah, he can't practically get.
I'd rather see. I don't think that they're going to get Franco. I don't think Racing Bulls is going to do that. I think they've learned their lesson maybe from going outside their stable and going outside of the drivers that they've already kind of said.
Learning their lesson.
These are our guys.
Whoa. Learning their lesson. I think
there'd be a lot more likely to see. Oh, why can't I remember his name? It's one of their F2 drivers. Finished high enough last year, I think, to get a super license. I think we're more likely to see him get that seat if they completely kill Lawson. But I think we're going to see something more like we saw with Gasly and Albon in 2019, where they're going to kick Lawson back down to Racing Bulls.
Yeah, that's the rumor I saw, that people are saying it's basically confirmed that Yuki is going to get the seat and Lawson's going to go back down.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I would love for them to do that.
Was spotted in Alpine Hospitality in China. Drivers, people talk all the time. People are in other teams' hospitalities for different reasons.
Yeah.
So a video of Hamilton going right back to the Mercedes garage after the last race.
But I would like to see that because
I want to know if it's that car being undrivable or if it's Liam being a bad driver. Because I don't rate Liam lowly. I don't rate him highly, but I don't rate him low. I mean, he's way better than...
He's never impressed me, to be honest.
He's a midfield driver.
Every time I start to be like, maybe I should cut this guy a break, he opens his mouth and says the dumbest stuff ever. I don't know if you saw his comment today, referring to Yuki. And I'm like, you have no ground to stand on right now.
Yeah.
You're P19, P20, P20. Like, that's a joke.
He has a lower, this is a fun stat, he has a lower average finishing position than Nikita Mazepin.
Why?
Wow. Ooh, that's a bad look.
I think it's... look, it's splitting hairs. It's like 19.33 versus 19.67, I think.
But that's still close. In a Red Bull.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's
that insane. Has changed now with the Ferrari disqualification, I think.
Yeah, it moved him up.
Yeah, because they got P12, P13?
P12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
so he got beat by... Hold on. He got beat by Isaac Hadjar.
Yep.
Let's just talk
Who has arguably the worst debut in modern history right now of first race proceeding to shit it into a wall.
I don't know. I think that Mazepin's was worse than his.
Mazepin's
at least bad. His was just... He fucked up in the wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, it's like, didn't really.
It
sit
wasn't
right
a
with
good
me.
debut by
No,
any
it was
means.
no.
It was a horrible
Honestly,
debut, but they were
the only reason I remember his name right now, to be entirely frank.
But I mean, like there are so many people that crashed in that. I mean, Sainz crashed under safety car there.
It was a shit show.
Ewan crashed. We thought his career was over. But then he had a good race this weekend.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think Ewan's got a chance of maybe surviving this. Maybe.
Kimmy's looking good. He is swimming compared to all the other rookies right now. I think he's
also in the best scenario of them all. But I do agree. I do rate Antonelli highly, but
yeah,
he does have. Out of
I've
all
been
them,
saying Antonelli's the next Max Verstappen.
Yeah, he's gonna crash, but once he gets it on rails,
I mean, but he did keep it clean in Australia.
And he was making moves too.
Yeah, I think he was actually like a competitor.
I think that once like that stress spikes up a little bit more, we'll start probably seeing some mistakes out of him. But I mean, overall, Kimmy's been doing an amazing job. I guess
as long as he keeps it up.
Let's rip a little. Let's rip. So obviously we had Lewis win the sprint race. Let's rip into some race results here. None of us watched the race, so we all have the same knowledge base.
I watched it live. I didn't watch it live. I watched the replay. Yeah. I avoided spoilers somehow when I woke up.
Well,
I didn't open Instagram. I didn't open Twitter.
Well, the DQ was a huge.
Besides that, when it comes to talking about the actual race,
Ryan told me to check Twitter after I finished watching the replay.
Yeah, I didn't want him. I didn't want him to check it mid, but I did want him to see it eventually.
Yeah. I just stayed off of all social media until I finished watching it.
Elephant in the room. There was a double disqualification. Both Ferrari cars out and Pierre Gasly chopped, gone. Two cars, 1 kilogram underweight, and Lewis Hamilton was 5 millimeters on the plank. That rules is the rules, unfortunately.
Rules is the rules.
Rules is the rules. It was devastating news to receive. I was very sad. Very glad I didn't watch the race as I wanted to, because I'd have been even more pissed, even though it was already not that great of a weekend from Ferrari.
It was what, fifth, seven, fifth, sixth, something like that.
Like that, yeah. And then just gone. But our top three was Oscar, Lando, George, McLaren.
Who did you have win in the sprint race, Ryan?
I had Lando. That did not age well.
Did not age well at all. Just barely squeaked into the points.
Yeah.
I had Verstappen winning the sprint race. Aged also better, but still not well. It was a very dominant drive from Lewis. Top three in the race.
I had Max, Charles, Lando, and I had one of those correct being Lando in the top three. I didn't have him in the correct place, though.
I cooked. Not fully, but I cooked. I thought the Red Bull was going to be better than it was. I had Oscar Piastri winning. Nice 1.5 right there. Max P2 and then Lando Norris in P3. So I had that off a little bit. But still a decent one. And I absolutely hate VCarb for screwing over my next prediction. VCarb's strategy was horrible last weekend. It was horrible this weekend. They need to figure their stuff out. I'm telling you, dude, it's from Lauren Meckies. He joined the team. He left Ferrari. Ferrari got their strategy together. He joins VCarb. Strategy's a mess. I'm blaming him for it. He brought the Ferrari strategy over to VCarb. But I had Isaac Hadjar as my hit to Apex. Amazing drive from him. Great weekend.
Just not a result.
Not a result. Because they decided, let's go ahead and pit. Even though everyone is saying it's going to be a 1-stop. Let's go ahead and pit for the 2-stop.
Yeah, which is just not smart.
I mean, you just have to... Like, Ocon pitted on the same lap as the V-Carbs, and he squeaked out P5 at the end of the day. P7, I think, is what he finished in originally. Something like that.
Ocon 5th, Originally 7th.
So, he squeaked out a P5. Going on a 1-stop. Going super long on his second stint. Like, 7th on the road with a Haas. And want to say that Hajar and Sonoda were in front of the Haas's, or they were battling with them at least.
Yeah, I don't know that
Right
one.
there with Gasly, I know. But and then Yuki Tsunoda, unfortunately, horrible result from him because his front wing just decided to snap.
Yeah.
The front fell off. He didn't hit anything. The front just fell off.
Front just fell off, so unfortunate for Yuki. I had Kimmy's my hit the apex, which is Sam elaborated on. I also am singing Kimmy's praises. Great race for him this weekend.
Don't know how he was driver of the day, but
yeah, that one was weird.
Esteban Ocon driver of the day, Ollie Behrman driver of the day, either of those, yeah. Probably Esteban Ocon is who I would have rated as my driver of the day. But yeah, that was a really good, just clean race from Kimi. He had floor damage at one point during the race. Never heard about it. Evidently Toto didn't want to stress him out because he was driving well enough, but evidently he had a damaged floor. We haven't gotten any data on like how many points of damage that was.
Yeah.
Charles with the front end plate missing the entire race and didn't affect him. If not, might have been faster. Might have made the balance better on the car. Who was your miss the apex this week?
I had George Russell, which was a big old swing and a miss. He got the old podium.
Look, I took the free space here. I went Liam Lawson for my miss the apex.
Seems too easy.
Yeah, finished on the road P15, I want to say is what that was.
He finished
behind Hajar and would have finished behind Sonoda if he didn't have to pit an extra time because of his front wing just doing that.
Yeah, he was finished 12th with 3 DQs, so it would have been 15th on the road. So.
Oh yeah, 3 DQs and a DNF.
Yeah.
Because Alonso had his DNF.
Not a great look.
Not a great beginning of the season for Alonso. He's in P last.
Yeah, Lance Stroll looking decent, which is weird.
By a lot of
terrifying.
Yeah, I need him to. I mean, if he keeps this up, I will stop my slander. But
Gracie will be so happy when you stop your slander.
She will be. Gracie from Podium Pop does not like when I make fun of Lance Stroll.
It just comes out of my mouth sometimes. I apologize, Gracie.
I'm sorry, Gracie.
It's second nature. It's second nature.
I can't help myself.
I've been hating on him since I came into F1. Well, actually, no. I backed him in 2022. I was like, nah, dude, he's just misunderstood. He's a good driver. And then he proceeded to have 2 of the worst seasons of his life. 3 of the worst seasons of his life.
Yeah. The evidence just starts to mount, and you just can't help yourself.
I backed him up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore.
If anybody here is allowed to hate, Patrick probably earned the right at this point if he's backed it up. Speaking of hate, though, this is something I kind of wanted to talk about because I was scrolling Instagram, as most people do with our brain-rotted society brains. And you remember the clip about Christian Horner and Toto when they're arguing about change the fucking car.
Yeah.
I wanted to come back to it because now there's a different context because the story has kind of changed. Talking about how the Red Bull's a shit car. Was it Max was just been dragging a shit box so far and Checo was actually... I don't know, because I kind of sitting there and I'm like, we look at Liam's performance and we look at Checo's performance and like,
look, I will never say that Checo.
It's an interesting dynamic.
I never said Checo was a bad driver. I never said Checo was a bad driver. I said he was a horrible Red Bull driver. Mm-hmm. Checo in a midfield car is something special. Mm-hmm. Dude can just pull out performances in a midfield car. Mm-hmm. In a Red Bull, it just fell apart.
And that's where I'm kind of wondering.
But also, he just washed.
Well, I would say Checo's less washed than Ricardo. Sorry.
You shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I know.
I will come to your house. I don't know what I'm going to do once I get there.
Hey, all I'm saying is if I can get any driver for free, I'm taking Checo before I take Danny Rick.
I'm taking Danny Rick just for the vibes.
That's fair. But yeah,
he's a great marketing agent. I don't want to see him in a car again. I'm just going to say it.
I see what you're saying. That's why I think we should see Yuki in it, because I think Yuki's kind of like control. We've seen him in V-Car be fairly consistently decent.
Mm-hmm.
Emphasis on the decent for the car, and to see him do it, I don't believe. I know Max Verstappen is dragging that thing, and getting every ounce of performance out of it. But that is not. It's not a shit box.
I think it's
by
probably the
any
fourth
means.
best car.
Yeah.
I think Ferrari, McLaren, and Mercedes are ahead of the Red Bull.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's mostly not that it's a proving a point, more so a new spin on that. Because I was sitting there and I thought about it and I was like, I'm like, that's another way to think about it. It's because after seeing how Lawson's performing, and I mean, Lawson's not necessarily a true rookie per se, so that I'm kind of like, I think I'm not saying that there's like this is the gospel truth on it, but I'm saying there could be more to it that Toto is actually onto. And I'm you guys know me, I'm not a Mercedes apologist or nothing. I'm just saying he may have actually been onto a little bit more.
Toto's just wrong in that instance because they were talking about porpoising.
Well,
and it being a safety issue. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing, is they wanted to introduce regulations to make porpoising less of an issue. But it wasn't affecting all the teams, so why should it be an issue?
Change your fucking car.
Yeah.
To be fair, not seeing drivers survive.
My run plan for Red Bull for the rest of the season: drop Lawson back down to Racing Bulls from next race from Japan. Also, just the feel good story of Yuki being in a Red Bull in Japan. I want it.
Be awesome.
Give it to my,
you know how
give
much
it to my
merch
man.
you guys will sell? You know how much merch you will sell?
Do you know how much character growth that is?
Then I want to see. I want to see from probably like round, let's call it 12 on, 13 on, throw Isaac in the car for the rest of the season. And just, or at least for a few races, and just kind of get that, like, at that point, you've said bye to the Constructors' Championship. It really doesn't matter who you throw in that car, just to get that level. Because I would argue that Isaac is on pace to maybe being as fast as Yuki is. And if you can capture that talent when he's that young and develop his driving style to be closer to Max's, I think they might have more of a chance of developing his driving style versus Yuki, who's been in a normal car for 4 years.
And someone who's not a long-term driver, with him being through Honda and Honda departing Red Bull.
Yeah, I say you split the season between Yuki and
I don't see Helmut Marko doing that due to his previous comments about Isaac, but we'll see if the mood lightens with him performing. And it has only been one race we've actually seen him race, so I feel like we can't jump to.
I mean, but like, I don't understand the hate that he was
last season.
I don't get the hate that he was. I don't get the hate that he was getting going into the season, though. He finished P2 in F2. He finished right behind Gabriele Bortoleto. He finished higher than Doohan, Behrman, Antonelli. I mean, we're seeing F2 isn't a great proving ground for F1 drivers. We're seeing that. But at the same time, like, people saying he didn't deserve the drive and that, like, I don't get that, man.
Yeah, it's a good standard. It's a good standard to work off of, since we don't truly have.
Look at Antonelli.
So we don't really have a
like
true
P7 last
year.
So
before you crucify me, what I'm saying is because we don't
Behrman
have a better
P12.
We don't have a better standard to go with. It's a good enough standing here now. It doesn't have to truly be the actual truth.
I can't talk about Behrman finishing P12. He did miss 2 rounds to sub an F1.
Yeah.
Or at least one. It might have been 2. It was at least 1 round. Because he went from getting the pole in Saudi Arabia to driving the Ferrari in the race.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know. I've been excited by Ali's performances. Did you see his comments after the race? He felt a little bad saying ciao to the drivers on the radio when he was passing them.
I did love that.
I can't wait to see him in a Ferrari in 2 years. I think in 2 years, Lewis Hamilton's gone, retired, and we're seeing
off the box of having Ferrari.
We're seeing Behrman back up in that seat.
Love that.
Don't know where Carlos Sainz will be in 2 years. Maybe Williams will be contending. I mean, they're looking pretty decent. Albon's looking better. I'm gonna say it. Albon's looking better.
Albon's always been I can take a shit box to the stars if I need to.
But that does bring us right into our last prediction, and we'll check that off the box real quick, which we both were guessing what the best of the rest would be. I said Williams. Incorrect. Close. Second best of the rest. It was actually Haas. Who'd you have, Patrick?
I had AlphaTauri as best of the rest, which was looking amazing until they fucked up the strategy. I'm going to complain about this all weekend because I would be in a clear lead in the championship if it wasn't for AlphaTauri's strategy. If it wasn't for Laurent Mekies, why couldn't we keep him at Ferrari?
There it is.
For real.
Bucks. No, stay out.
Stop. Don't make me hear that. Don't awaken something inside of me.
We're going to catch a traumatic episode on camera.
Well, he's already halfway down the pit lane in Monaco.
Unbelievable.
But championship standings as they are between me and Ryan for predictions. I am at 23 to his 22. I've got a 1 point advantage going into next weekend, which... All right, and before we move on to our NASCAR predictions for this weekend, Sam, you got any final thoughts to take us out this episode?
So there's one thing I want to continue watching because I'm very curious. Is I want to watch Liam Lawson's ego because we've seen a few instances of it, and I want to see a little bit of Schadenfreude, but I can't wait to watch that come crashing down. Seen a couple of things like when he's been passing people and stuff about little hand motions and all that. I'm like, I kind of want to see what comes of it watching because I know Lawson was pretty hyped up, and I'm just kind of getting a kick out of the fact that it is like been a real crash and burn for like we've had some crash and burns, but like we're already talking about he could be gone by next race.
Yeah,
which is like bad. For being a hyped up driver, arguably looks worse than Hadjar like crashing out in the formation lap, where it's like you're being talked about like, oh yeah, you've basically got the C2. Damn, that's crazy. Well, look, I got an appointment with literally 4 other prospects at this point.
Yeah, I called it at the beginning of the season. He wasn't ready for that Red Bull. I don't think anyone is truly ready for that Red Bull. I said it. We're gonna see a Gasly Albon situation again, but Helmut Marko knows more than me.
Yep. Best thing for Red Bull, get rid of him, get rid of Horner. Let's see a change up.
I hate Helmut Marko or Helmut Marko sucks, whatever TikTok took off of our video.
Yeah, fun fact, our video, I don't know if it was related to the performance of it, but I did get a community guideline.
Oh, is it like good performance?
No, it's got 7 views. I don't know if
this one's doing numbers.
is due to the community guidelines, but we did get a community guidelines violation for creating the hashtag Helmut Marko sucks. So really fucked up that they're gonna give me a community guidelines violation for that. I put a lot of thought. I pour my heart into these hashtags, and the fact that hashtag Helmut Marko sucks was removed just devastates me.
The fact that that's what got us the community guidelines violation on that video too, when it's a video of Eric Andre doing stuff to, I'm not sure how strict YouTube is.
Force multiplying somebody.
Yes. And that's what the community, like straight up, when I thought of the video idea, I thought we were going to get a community guidelines strike on every single platform. Straight
but
up.
It was just the hashtag.
Helmut Marko sucks hashtag. Bring it back, guys. They can't ban all of us.
Yeah, I had like a slight panic when it first happened. I was like, community guidelines violation, what do we do? And then it was just the hashtag.
Yeah.
It's sitting at a nice 7 views.
Yeah, I mean that's like my second favorite hashtag. You know what my favorite hashtag is, Ryan?
Hashtag bring back Kentucky Speedway.
Yes, sir.
Actually, I would say, I don't know if my algorithms feed me. I've been seeing a lot of Kentucky Speedway content lately from people locally visiting the track, being reminiscent on the days at Kentucky. Should we
do a pod in front of Kentucky Speedway?
Oh my goodness.
with like 3 folding chairs and a white plastic table.
Yeah,
exactly.
And a car battery
hooked up to something that the same vibes we're gonna have when we're doing track content.
The actual track content.
But at least when the cars go down below. Let us know down below if you want to see a Kentucky Speedway pod.
For the love of God, please don't do that to us. I don't want to go cook out in Kentucky can get very hot in the summer. Please don't do this to us.
We'll be all right. We'll bring it.
We'll do it in the middle of the rain just for you.
Yep, just for yourself.
That way it's not hot, Sam.
Thank God. I'll make sure to ride my bike there, too.
Yep. We'll all ride there.
God.
If
Sam?
this video gets 10 likes, I will do a burnout in the Kentucky Speedway parking lot on my bike.
If it gets 10 likes, we'll all do it. I'm volunteering us.
No, I'm not ruining my tires.
Damn it, it's 10 likes on this video.
The odds are slim, but
We've
I
had
put
one view on like every single podcast.
the hat stays on the head. It's not going in there. I'm not throwing it in that ring.
All right.
Not replacing battle axes this soon into owning the bike.
All right. Well, Sam, thank you for your vibes. Thanks for a nice little guest spot on this one.
Glad to actually get to watch a race so I could show up for once.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, real quick, just while Sam's here, we're going to go over our races for next week. We've got, and I'm also going to talk to you guys about how to watch each of these. Put in a little bit of work, very minor investigative work from me. We've got NASCAR at Martinsville on FS1 on Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, I believe. Which is unfortunate because that does interfere with the next race, which is MotoGP at Coda, which is, I believe, also at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be watching the 20 laps of Coda while simultaneously watching Martinsville. Same thing we did this weekend.
I want to see the Coda. I love Coda.
That is on the Fox Business Network. So we're gonna go from talking about stonks to watching bikes go fast to talking about stonks.
All of that money, all of those resources, and they don't just have another channel they could throw MotoGP on.
Fox Business Network. That's what it is.
That is their other channel.
You right.
Then
how could I not guess that?
We've got GT World Challenge Americas at Sonoma Raceway. That is going to be streamed live on their YouTube channel. Just GT World Challenge. I'm not sure if Americas has a different channel than GT World Challenge. I
think they do. I think it is a separate channel, I believe. But if you look up GT World Challenge around race time, you will find it.
Yep.
Free broadcast. We always love that, obviously.
And then we've got the last free broadcast of major racing. Major, quote unquote. We've got Formula Regional and Formula 4 Americas at NOLA Motorsports Park. And that, again, is going to be live on the Formula Regional and the Formula 4 Americas YouTube channels. Some great junior racing. There are... I feel like I actually recognized the name in the field this year. I'll have to go back and look. One of the Weldons is running Formula 4, but I think he's running Italia Formula 4.
Okay.
I think Sebastian's running in Europe right now. Maybe Oliver's running in the US. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not.
But yeah, got some exciting racing coming up. And yeah, we're going to move into our NASCAR at Martinsville predictions. Sam, talk to you later. Have a great rest of your night.
You have a great night. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
In some amount of time.
Yes.
And in the words of a very promising future F1 driver, ciao.
Future F1 driver? He's an F1 driver.
He is an F1 driver.
Always nice to have Sam on the pod. I know we're over time. I know we have absolutely cooked our time on this pod.
We're only at an hour and 2 right now.
For 2? Not bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've got some time that's getting cut out in the middle there.
But we're still, I figure, NASCAR at Martinsville, short tack. Let's plow through these predictions real quick.
Yeah.
Top 3, Patrick. Who do you got?
Look, I've got a dirt racer vibe going on right now.
Okay.
I got Seabell winning the race. Then I got Bubba Wallace in P2. I seem to remember him doing pretty well at the Clash on that track. And then I've got KFB, Kyle fucking Busch, in P3. How about you, Ryan?
You would have thought these were Patrick's predictions. I'm going to come in steaming here. I got Kyle Larson carrying his momentum and winning the race in Martinsville. In second place, I have Ryan Blaney because something's got to go right for that man.
Yeah.
Got to feel bad for the seasons he's having so far. And in third place, I'm finally if you can't beat him, join him, William Byron.
That's a surprise. This is the weekend that he crashes in DNFs.
I'm sure. Small price to pay for salvation. Who do you have hitting the apex, Patrick?
I have him in P3, Kyle Busch. You have to
Kyle
say with
Busch,
the season he's been having, a P3
Three
is
is-
definitely a hit the apex.
A massive hit the apex.
But I'm going to say, lock it in, as we like to do for some reason, even though we could just go off of vibes. I'm locking in a top 10 finish for KFB.
Top 10, okay. Okay.
How about you, Ryan? Who's hitting the apex?
Similar vibe. I think coming off last week, I feel like I think Alex Bowman is going to have a good race.
Okay.
Obviously, we saw his woes at the end of the Homestead-Miami race. I think he's going to come back with a little, want to prove that, like, oh, I can do this. I think it's going to be a clean top 5. I'm going top 5 for Alex Bowman, just outside that top 3. But I think he's going to be in the pocket. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget it. But, yeah, I have a good feeling about that. Just vibes. Who do you got missing the apex this week, Patrick?
Yeah, I told you, this is a free space for me. I've got Carson Hocevar missing the apex this week. Look, I don't know what it is about me. There's part of me that wants to like Carson Hocevar. There's a part of me that wants to like him. He seems like a people's kind of guy, a fan's driver. I just can't bring myself to like him, though.
Yeah.
He
did good on the driver broadcast for the truck race.
Yeah, there's just something about him that I don't vibe with. I can't even put my finger on it. Just the vibes aren't there.
Okay.
But I also don't think he's a great driver.
Yeah. I went a little kind of homage to last week. I figure he won't do it twice. So I went Denny Hamlin missing the apex this week.
Okay.
If I'm remembering correctly, I don't think he did pretty good at Homestead-Miami. I can't remember where he was, but
yeah, the 2311s were pretty competitive.
Yeah,
I mean, Bubba Wallace with P2, so
yeah. I think
he led a good amount of that race.
I think some woes that are the problems that Denny Hamlin's had this year will show up in Martinsville, and
he's not on 2311. I don't know why I was saying he's on
Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs' car had issues; they were down, but I think he's not gonna have a great week. Yeah, I mean, you took the free face. I'm taking Denny Hamlin. I'm saying outside the top 10.
All right, and are we going to be throwing it back? Are we going to have a wall ride penalty now that it is against the rules?
I'm going to read exactly what I wrote down in my document. No, please, for the love of God, no. Fuck you, NASCAR. That was my response.
Hell yeah.
So
I think that even if it's accidental, there's going to be somebody contacting the wall and keeping their foot in it because why not? And they're going to get a penalty from it. I think it's going to be a bullshit NASCAR penalty that shouldn't be a penalty, but I do think a driver is going to be penalized. Why we're penalizing while riding, I don't know. The only person that's going to hurt is the driver who's choosing to do it.
Yeah.
We've got safer barriers, guys.
Yeah.
The cars are safe enough to do this. Like, just let them do it.
Fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
And especially don't penalize them when it's clearly not intentional.
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you watch Ross Chastain reel it up from the back, if you don't want that to happen, but don't get someone who
loses. Who's the person that got the wall ride penalty? Was it
Seabell? I believe. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Seabell.
Where he just kind of skipped into the wall and just kept his foot in it.
Clearly wasn't intentional, but he did the race car thing and he kept his freaking foot in it. Which you're always going to do.
I swear, dude, NASCAR doesn't like real racing.
Sometimes it would seem like that, but yeah, I think. I said no. Do you think there's gonna be one? You said yes.
I think there is gonna be one.
Yeah, skip one. Yeah.
And then talking about real racing, NASCAR not liking real racing. How many real cautions are we gonna have? Not these bullshit stage cautions. How many real cautions are we gonna have?
I think there's gonna be 3.
Okay.
3 good old cautions.
Slightly more optimistic about our NASCAR drivers than I am. I think there's gonna be 4 cautions.
Yeah, I like it.
But yeah, overall going to be a great weekend of racing. We got some free racing that you can watch, and GT World Challenge is some amazing racing. Formula 4 and Formula Regional are some great racing. Yeah, I mean, let's just have a good week. Let's have some good vibes, and hopefully the NASCAR race at Martinsville is good and MotoGP is good.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to both of them.
Like, subscribe, hit the buttons, dislike, comment. Remember 10 likes. You heard Sam. He'd do a burnout on his bike and burn him down at Kentucky Speedway. So
yeah, tell me in the comments why Joey Logano is your favorite driver, and I will tell you why you're wrong.
I don't know. Bring back Kentucky Speedway. Our usual stuff. As
Yep.
always. Thanks for watching.
Have a great rest of your week, guys. Peace.